Outstanding. All right, time is 18:22. We're going to begin. So, real quick, we're actually going to stand up and we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance because I've been requested to do that tonight if you guys don't mind. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. So, welcome to the EPBA. Housekeeping rules right now. So you have two exits, and these are for the people that are here on site right now, guys. I know the people on the phone don't have housekeeping right now. But here in housekeeping, you have your exits here, you have an exit over there, you have an exit in the back. The bathroom outside is to the right, you make a left. Okay? For questions, there is going to be a Q&A at the end. For the people on the phone, if you can hold off on your questions, and if you have a question, please use the epba.us contact sheet on the site, please, if you have any questions. If you have to get your questions out tonight, I will answer them the best way I can. So, why are we doing the EPBA? So a few months ago, there was a bunch of officers that were trying to figure this out. They were trying to figure out, for months, how to get their voice. You know, there was talk like, we need to go for this union, we need to do this, we need to go here, we need to do whatever we can do to get ourselves away and do all this stuff. There's all this crazy stuff going on and on and on and on. And every time we would talk about this, we never really got anything. We didn't really think about anything other than, well, how do you organize? How do you organize? How do you get yourself set? So after carefully looking through everything, COIB, Department of State, the Attorney General's office, and all that good stuff, we decided that we were going to form our own C5. The C5 is a labor organization. The bylaws in the C5 right now are strictly designed not to be a decertification engine at all. They're designed for a PBA itself. People turn around and say, the PBA is not a union, you can't be a PBA. Yes, it can, and it is. But right now, your bylaws are only at the level of a PBA. Okay? PBA, Police Benevolent Association. The word association is a union. Union is association. It's a Black Law Dictionary. You guys can figure that out. I have the corporation forms. I have the 11.511 ready for you guys to look at once you become members. So what I am right now is that I'm not a president, I'm not a treasurer, I'm not a secretary. I'm pretty much what I've coined us as an EDAC. It's a EPBA Deliberative Assembly Chairperson. Say that 10 times fast. Right now, how I want all this to work is under parliamentary process. Proceedings, Robert's Rules of Order, Volume 11. Motions, agenda. Having your voice, getting your voice back. That's how this needs to work. To do that first, you need to start doing a ballot committee. You need to get, well, stage one, get people organized. Get people thinking, hey, can this work? Okay, now join. Then have your ballot committee. There's no contestment right now for decertification at all. You can't petition a certification right now. All of us in this room right now, and everyone on that phone, and all the 194 officers that are out there right now, your portfolio looks very bad to anyone that's out there. You have over at least 10% of your officers that have not signed authorization cards, and you have about maybe almost 60 now that have opted out. And then you have the people that have started and stayed with their association. It doesn't look good. So why would we want to go for that anyway? I hear constantly, oh, arbitration didn't pass. We don't want to mess it up. Yeah, I got that. I don't want to do that either. That's not what I want to do. I want to, right now, I want to get all of us in the membership to get a ballot committee, to get the executive board started, and start pressing the issue of our voice. The right to assemble, your First Amendment right. Period. There's no more of people going to a precinct, coming from a meeting, and then going into a locker room, or going to a post, or going to whatever, and giving out back page knowledge. That's got to stop. It's getting too intense, downrange, down in the city, and then we don't know what's going up here either. And then you're getting a couple people on the same page, and some people are not on the same page. And some people are paying, some people are not. Let's go back to that real quick. Free rider. Free rider was coined by the Janus decision. That's not coined by another association, that word, free rider. So when you're saying that, you're actually discriminating under the conflict of interest, chapter 68. Freeloader, free rider, all those words. You can say not member, or what I like to say to everyone, EPO. Because when you're looking at your orders, your OCB and OLR, you are an EPO. Bylaws. All the bylaws say EPO. Yeah, they have a classification for membership, and they have a thing that says full or associated, but you are an EPO. All of us are EPOs in this agency. There's 147 EPO 1s, 37 EPO 2s, and anyone can correct me on that. And then there's 14 EPO 3s, not including one that's on leave to make 15. I was told the other day we have 194. Okay, we have 194. Either way, there's more EPO 1s than are EPO 2s and 3s, but we're not trying to separate that. The difference between a C3 and a C5. C3, fundraising. Fundraiser capability. Kind of like the section 201 of the corporation law, and maybe say like a old PBA that was established in 1994. And like say it was rewritten in 2013. Fundraising, C3. C5, EPBA. With the capability to open up other C3s. And I'll get into that also tonight. Both need tax exemption. Tax exemption, CPA or yourself. EIN number, right? Employee identification number. Business account. C3 can have a business account. Well, some banks are 50, some banks are 150, some banks are 100. When you have a tax exemption or you have a C5, it's about $1,000. I waited on that. Not because some of us don't have the ability to do that. I waited on that because you need a executive board. You need a treasurer. You need a secretary. You need a president. You need all this stuff established. Membership types. So membership types, there's full member and there's associated member. Very easy right now, right? Full member, people that are active. All EPOs that are active. Associated member, people that retire. Even the guys that are BWS. The guys that are the officers on this job from before, if you ever had a chance to talk with them, meet with them, work with them, they also, would like to know what's going on. They don't like to receive letters in the mail. Hey, by the way, your benefits are ceasing, and they don't know what to do. And they're starting to call the officers from before. And then they're like, hey, go to your precinct. It's not fair. It's just not fair. Off topic. Since I've opened up the website as an EDAC, there's a thing called SEO and Google Analytics. So you've had over 536 people look at your website, but out of the 536, I can tell exactly where and what location of the people are looking. Like if I say 36 hits were coming from Bushwick, Brooklyn, I could tell the 36 hits came from Bushwick, Brooklyn. That's for me to pump into that area if I was saturating it for, like, say, campaigning. So right now, I can tell right now 147 officers at this point, right now, are involved. And I can tell by the page of what you guys are looking at every time you click on it. So it gives me the idea to figure out how to hone in on the information to get it out there. Transparency. And I can teach all that. Yearly fee. There is none. You know why? And I know some people on the phone can understand this as well. You don't have a board. It's not fair to say, hey, and I get it. Everyone's like, well, how are you going to get this started? It started. It's there. It's here. It's created. It is yours. It is mine. It is everyone's in this room. It started. The train left the station. It started. In the bylaws, once you signed up and you sent me back your acknowledged agreement, the bylaws that I have right now, they're in draft 1 format. There are certain sections in those bylaws, again, that are not completed because I would like to have a bylaw committee established. 3, 4, 6, 10 people. And you don't have to come here to Kingston to do it. You can do it over what I call a PIC, which is PIC, Papa, Indiana, Charlie. Phone-in conference. Committees. Ballot committee, bylaw committee, legal committee, financial committee, events and communications committee, retire committee, member vote and fundraiser committee to be established. Again, you need a vote for that fundraiser. There's numerous reasons why we need to do that voting for fundraising. And it's under the 68 law for the chapter COIB. Flip the page. Also, everyone on the phone right now, so you guys understand, there's actually an informative page here on site. If you guys want me to send you that, because everyone else that's here on site is looking through that, I will. Go to the contact sheet, and I will send you all the information that was said tonight on a piece of paper. We're going to talk about board positions, because last week when you guys started watching the video, it wasn't really clarified. I had a lot of questions over the week. So right now, board positions. You have a president, chief executive officer, CEO. You have a vice president, chief administration officer, CAO. Vice president, chief communications officer, CCO. Vice president, chief financial officer, CFO. An EPO3 director of association officer, 3DAO. The EPO2 director of association officer, 2DAO. Secretary, treasurer, quartermaster, associate director, retired ADR. All the bylaws. Also going to be part of your welcome packet. So let's real talk. EPO 2s and 3s. I had a question. Well, you guys started this. You did it without us. There's no transparency. And there's a board. There's another board. There's another board. There's another board of another association. Who's on the board? Because I haven't elected anyone in over 10 years. Who's on the board? I got told there was a board. I'm not going to give you the name. You guys can figure it out. So I was told this, right? And then I got told, well, I just don't understand. The EPO2s, EPO3s, there's a lot of smart guys in this agency that can do this and can be on the board. Right, got you. I completely understand. Walk me through Chapter 68 COIB. Walk me through it. I want you to walk me through that. Because I can walk you through it right now. We're gonna, and I know I don't want to go, I'm not here, again, I'm not here to be condescending. I'm here to give out more information. And I'm here to really protect all of you guys. Because you are all, believe it or not, when I say this, you are my brothers and sisters. I have talked to a lot of you over the years. I've had a lot of good conversations with all of you, heart-to-heart conversations. I've been where you guys have been. Public servant and supervisor official. Public servant means all officials, officers, and employees of the city, including members of the community boards and members of the advisory committees, except unpaid members of the advisory committees shall not be public servants. Okay, that's a little bit of jargon. I can send that to everybody. But pretty much is stating what you guys are. Supervisor official means any person having the authority to control or direct the work of a public servant. So in the 2603 powers and obligations, we're going to scroll down, and I have all this. If you guys want this, again, contact sheet, those on the phone, I can send all this information to you. And by the way, you guys take a conflict of interest, right? Every year now, right? Okay. Number 6, under this section shall not prohibit. I'll read that part. Public servant from acting as an attorney, agent, broker, employee, officer, director, or consultant for any non-for-profit corporation or association or other such entity which operates on non-for-profit basis interested in business dealings with the city, provided that such public servant takes no direct or indirect part in such business dealings. Such non-for-profit entity has no direct or indirect interest in any business dealings with the city agency in which the public servant is employed and is not subject to supervision, control, or regulation by such agency except where it is determined by the head of the agency, your mayor. So EPO2s and EPO3s cannot be selling on the, like say at Stewart's or a gas station or an EPO1 about support the EPBA. However, the EPO2 can have like a coffee can on the side street and it's just for the EPO2. And they have a C3 and they are set up and they have a business account. And that money goes into their account. And then if they want to contribute into their EPBA business account, they can, legally. But you can't be selling, you can't be with an EPO2. An EPO2 and EPO3 can't be helping each other out with fundraising. There is maybe one position, maybe two, if you want to discuss. But I gave you 2 positions on the board. I did that because I plan on giving you guys your own chapter. Not separating you guys from the EPBA, but your own chapter. So you guys can have your own fundraising, you can have your own EPBA cards, you can do all this kind of stuff. I am going to set it up for you, if you want me to, at no cost. And I will tell you it's probably $175, maybe too much. I will probably need 3 people on that board for the corporation, and then the director is the AKA president, but it's still director. Associate director is what? The vice president, and then you have a treasurer, just like the EPO1s would have. But you're still part of the same entity. You're still part of the EPBA. It's designed that way. Because of the Conflict of Interest Board, Chapter 68, 2603, Sub 6. The Executive Board still has an EPO2 and EPO3 on it. Because we need that guidance from the guys that have been on this job to guide the EPO2s as well. You know, here's the thing about title, acknowledgement. I don't care about acknowledgement or title. I care about, right now, I care really just about my voice. And I'm really, like I said before in the video, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm tired of not knowing what's going on. And I'd rather just have everyone working together now. And that's how leaders, everyone in here is a leader. Everyone has done fundraising before in their academy. You guys can do it. You've all done it before. Each and every one of us went through an county where you had to fundraise. You've done it. You did it. You did it together. Whether you like the person next to you or not, you did it together. Same concept. I'm not asking everyone to say, hey, get along. I'm asking everyone as a brother and sister to respect each other on a different level now. Through parliamentary proceedings. Parliamentary proceedings, which is in the bylaws, which was also in the other bylaws, which is also in the other bylaws of the two associations, but they were broken. And if anyone that's out there that wants to contest me with that, I have no problem sitting you down and talking to you about all that. About the other two associations. And if I got to hear one more time that an employee that's an EPO can't put in for anything else because they've opted out, you're wrong. I got that law too in that section of OCB. You're wrong. Let's back up here. When I say you're wrong, that doesn't also mean that I'm contesting you in any which way possible. I actually want everyone to work. I want everyone to have a say, and I want all this to work. The check is the C5. The check is the C5. I want all this to work. If I have to work with the other association, and we all have to work together with the other association, we'll do it with a voice. But help me God, if I got to hear that, oh, it's arbitration impasse, decertification, bro. Oh my God, it's an engine. It's not. Stop it. It's silly. Get over it. Move on. There were two people that were part of this that wanted to do that. That's the truth. They got checked too. The other guy, who's the president of the other association, is checked as well. That's 3 people now I'm able to check through the law and through doing my research. I have told many people in the last week and a half, I'll take the letter of cease and desist. I'll do it. I would love to do that. No one else in the ballot committee last time, they got a letter of cease and desist. They got the pat on the back, they got the go, right? Oh, we're gonna go here! And then all of a sudden, put me on the ballot! And then all of a sudden, letter of cease and desist. And you stopped, and that's fine. Guess what? Who owns the corporation? Right now. I do. But I'm willing to give that up once you have an executive board. However, if the executive board doesn't want to take on that fight, I will. I'll take the hit. I'll take the declaratory judgment in 18 months. Because I will hold that up because I know what I need to do. I'll take the fight. I'll do it. And just so we're clear, I don't want to do that. I actually want everything to work out very well with everybody else. And if you think for 1 second when everyone starts talking and going, well, how are we going to get a voice if the other guy doesn't listen? Don't want you to worry about that. Give me the board, let's get forward, and I'll walk you through all that. Even if you want to tell the other side, even if you want to have your locker room talk, I will still be able to get us through all that. I can, and I will. Bylaws, I know we went over it real quickly. Bylaws are a living document, which means they can be changed, which means a motion, which means a vote. You can put an agenda in, put a motion, you'll be able to pick. I have the appendixes in the bylaws for you guys to do that. So you should walk yourself through all that. You actually can do all that yourselves. You can do it. You just got to read through the bylaws, look through the appendix, and go, hey, you know what, Matt? Or hey, President, whoever, he or she, I really don't like this one section of the bylaws, and I'm having a hard time. Hey, I got you. In the back of the bylaws, you can use the appendixes, and you can put a motion into it, and you can put an agenda for the new business and old business. You can do that. You can do it. So that way when you vote, you have the new business for the next meeting you have. Whether or not it's through an executive board meeting, and you'll have that option. You can say, hey, you know what? I don't want to wait 3 months. I want to put this in now. So the executive board will have their meeting, and you can actually go to that meeting because you're a member, and you're welcome to it. The only meeting you may not be welcome to is the session meeting, which is like when you start to get into like other things that the executive board needs to discuss. And you'll know that by your text and your phone, and you'll know that by your email account, what type of meeting it is. Very rare. That's transparency. That is the solidarity, is allowing someone within your PBA to say, I don't like this. How do I deal with this? It's, I don't like this while I'm in post. I don't like this while I'm in the car. I don't like this in the locker room. It's, I don't like this. Who can I talk to? How do I put a motion in? How do I get the agenda? It's in the bylaws, and then you can call someone up and go, hey, how do I do this? You can do it.
I just want to say that Matt does say I a lot, but he's speaking as
Yes.
as
Yes, I wanna
as the
discuss that too.
EPBA. It's not like him in a personal level. It's him more of in a professional level, being the voice for us to bring to you guys.
And I'll apologize to that, because I got to watch myself last week, and I was like, man, that guy's so arrogant. And I say I again, I really want you guys to realize that an EPO 1 was able to pull and do this. That means all the EPOs here can do this. That's what I mean by that. I mean that anyone that's an EPO can do this. You can do it. You can all do it. I'm gonna cut that. Okay. Website capabilities. So once you have a committee for the finance part of it, and you have a board, you literally can use a donation tab to be put onto your phone, which is through the EPBA site. So as you're walking around or you're out there talking to people, you can actually go onto your phone, hit the donation page, and then go right into whoever wants to donate into your EPBA. Motions and questionnaires are going to be on there. So let's just say you missed the last meeting, and let's just say we felt like the consensus was, I don't want to decert. I want to do arbitration impasse. Copy. So someone says, hey, Matt, whoever, in charge of the website, can you put on the website or an email to the members to get a consensus of how do you feel about this? And put a questionnaire. So people don't have to keep fighting back and forth with one another. So you get to say, I don't like this, check, yes, no, maybe no. And you can do that a couple times. So that way you actually get a chance without kind of like, oh man, I feel like if I say something right now, I'm gonna have a problem. We can set that up if you guys want to, once you have a board. If you notice, I put on the news and updates, again, I said but I did. I put on the news and updates that OCB and OLR, I would love for all you guys to start looking that up. It seems to be more people look at the committees. Again, through Google Analytics, you see that. But it would be nice to see people start looking at the news, and you gotta scroll down. And the website for OLR and OCB is there. Eventually, once I see the membership start to rise, I will start to put out a lot of information on that website. And I may even start just giving it to you through the email, so you guys can start wrapping your head around stuff. Laws, bulletins, all types of stuff. So you can have the right words and the right verbiage and feel comfortable a little bit more. For instance, like home rule. Home rule. Home rule, 1966. That's when it was established. Okay? It's designed for like administration to have no say over another city when you have a state, right? In this case, we live in a state that has 9 million people in New York City. So to pass a certain type of bill, which we're calling a home rule bill, but it's multiple bills. Home rule means you can pass a bill down in the city, For say like, I don't like this traffic light, and you can put it on a home rule bill. And the city council then votes on it. It's not just about retirement, although you are on the agenda for that. You are on the agenda for that. You had a senator and assemblyman put that on the agenda for the 2019, the home rule bill, for 25-year retirement. I can put that on the website if you guys want, or I can email you. The gentleman that was in charge of that, I've had a very long conversation with, and he's ecstatic. And we've talked about stuff like C3 PAC, public action campaign, or committee campaign, or whatever you want to coin it as. We talked about stuff like that. We figured it out. We can do it. That time I said we.
Good job.
Email accounts. Email accounts. So, email accounts. I literally can give you guys, once you sign up, your own email account. Your own EPBA US email account. I can give it to you guys. Which means you can use that instead of your work email or your personal email. I highly recommend that that's what you want to use to get that going. Meeting types. Again, we have flipping the page. There's regular meeting, there's special meeting, there's an annual meeting, and there's an executive session. That's that one where the board says, hey, we're going to take our own time out and we need to talk about some things going on. I'll go over one part of the executive session, number 4, real quick. An executive session is a meeting or part of a meeting during which the deliberations are kept secret. It is usually held to protect the organization or its members when holding a discussion of a sensitive nature. Characteristics of an executive session include: 1, it may be scheduled as part of an agenda. 2, it may be requested at any time during a meeting. 3, it takes a majority vote or general consent of no debate. 4, only members have the right to attend. 5, discussions are confidential. 6, breach of confidence is subject to disciplinary by termination of the office and memberships. Open meeting laws may affect, that's number 7, I'm sorry. Open meeting laws may affect how an executive session may be used. So, before we go into the Q&A, there's a couple things like when I set email accounts. I'm setting the email accounts up for you guys. By the way, I've had a great response. There's been quite an amount of people joining. I have not been able to get all their emails accounts set up. I'm going to try to get someone to help me to do that. Because I'm working. I purposely put on, after the meeting on Monday, that this was not a decertification engine. I would not recommend contesting that right now. It does not make sense. Meaning, I'm not contesting myself. Anyone else that's joining needs to understand that right now, that we're not looking to contest decertification. Meaning, we're not going to contest it. We're not going to do the arbitration impasse on the account of, hey, I want to ruin this. I want you guys to have that vote. But that's not up to me. That's up to the members, which means we're not petitioning for a certification right now. So we're not contesting that association, which means arbitration impasse is a go. It's a go. It says on the website, this is not a decertification engine. But if you like all this other stuff, I highly recommend that you join, so this way we can educate ourselves. I'm looking at right now, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, about 14 to 15 people here that I have talked to in the past. And I can tell you right now, they're all smart people. I've talked to them. They've asked questions. I've debated with them. I've gone back and forth. They are very smart people. All of these people can do this, including myself. I'm going to take questions. Let me answer the questions that the people are here right now, and then I'll ask you guys if you guys want to have any questions over the phone. So just stand by, and I'll actually repeat the question so you guys can hear what your brothers and sisters are saying, your EPOs. So is there anyone here that has a question? Elliot.
Can you break down all of the information you just gave us into like a couple of sentences for somebody whose brain doesn't work that well?
Which part? Which information?
Just kiss it. Make it super simple.
Like
Yes. Like as far as you hit people with a lot of information, but ultimately it just comes down to a labor organization was founded. There is no hierarchy of power. We're presenting it to the members so that we can put people in place so that they can run and function. It's a voice for us, by us.
That's right, Elliot.
Oh, that's
Thank
the
you.
answer. Okay.
So Elliot's wanted me to dub it down a little bit, that this is an organization that's a C5.
Just put it a different way.
And that you want to make a summary that this is for us and by us.
Yep.
And
Nobody's
yes,
empowered.
Because you have the right to have your First Amendment right of assembly. And CYB gave you that right, Department of State, the Attorney General's office, and the Secretary of State, and you have your own labor organization. You literally can do this now, with the intent that you have a bylaw that's just part of a PBA. There's a thing called, people have been saying, blue line. Blue line. Paddler stands up, there's a blue line. Yeah, we have that now. You have blue line, and the check is the C5. The check is for the other two guys that wanted to try to get decertification right away, and we couldn't do it because you have to have a voice. You have to have people that want to agree with that. Whether you are association to someone else, or whether you're not, and you've opted out. You all have to have a say. I'm sorry. That's the way it works. It's not right. You can't just jam that down people's throats. It's not fair, number one. And number two, the C5 is to check the other president of the association. Believe me, it's going to work. It already started. Him and I did talk. We talked 3 times in a row. I didn't say we were contesting him. He definitely told me that he was going to support it. Fine, awesome. I don't have a problem with that. I don't. I don't have a problem with him walking through the door right now and talking with us. I don't have a problem with it. I don't. Not right now. I do have a problem not having my voice. And I certainly do have a problem not having elections. I certainly have a problem when you try to send out a letter of cease and desist to my brothers and sisters. And I have a big problem when you're trying to call me out as consequences and confuse people. I have a big problem with that because that's a ULP. That's an unfair labor practice. That goes right straight to OCB, not PERB, not National Labor Board. They don't fall into that, but they fall into OCB. So if you want to talk to a Pro-C officer and you want to have a good conversation about ULPs, that's what you call OCB. Talk to your Pro-C officer. I'm not going to contest anyone myself. There's no one in this room that's raising their hands going, "Yeah, let's do it, let's picket it, let's go after this person." No, stop. It can't happen. You all have to have a voice. You all have to agree, and it has to happen. It hasn't happened here over a decade. Questions?
If we could address the question of why people might feel like they were excluded from the formation of this labor organization, because it's not.
So the question right now is why people were excluded from the formation of the labor organization. Well, that's a good question. The answer is that I really didn't think about it at that time. I wanted to think about how we get ourselves organized. I don't have an answer for all that. I was just approached by people that were like, hey, we need to do this, and we're gonna do it this way, we're gonna pay for this guy, we're gonna pay for this person, we're gonna waste our money, we're gonna do all this stuff, whether it was a waste or not. And it was kind of scary talk to me, because I still kind of was going on the fact of, we're going to arbitration impasse. So I didn't want to do that. That's not the route I wanted to go. But I also knew how to do this stuff. I know how to do all this stuff. I have a background in it.
So pretty
So
much.
I felt that at this time, it was better to step in and compromise, and then give you guys the transparency to get yourselves organized, to get yourselves on a board, or be a member and have a voice. And that's the transparency right now. I did not mean to offend anybody by not including them this time. There's also another reason why you don't do it. And number one other reason. If I included all of you guys in the beginning of this, you would probably be like, man, who's going to be on the corporation? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Who's going to take the letter cease and desist? Who's going to do all this other stuff? How do we do all this stuff? And it would have taken forever. It would have dragged. It took me 3 months to figure this out and 3 weeks to complete it. 3 months to figure all this, how to work it, how to do it, emails, the whole thing, and 3 weeks to put it together. That's how it worked. Not $5,000 to another lawyer, not $2,000, not $1,000 for someone to write a bylaws. I wrote the bylaws. I did it. I said I did it myself. The EPO 1 did his own bylaws for us, with the fact that we're going to have a bylaw committee to change them if we need to. Some of them you can't. Now the tax exemption, real quick, the 1024. The tax exemption for the C5 has not been filed yet. It can't be, because you need the bylaws to be submitted to the IRS. So you can't do it yet. And I don't have a treasurer. I don't have a financial vice president yet. I want one. Believe me, as a member, I want one. We can't do it yet. You know, I've been told in the past, real quick, and I know I went off on a little tangent here. I'm really sorry, Elliot. I've been told that the association is a business. Well, it's a business. It's a business. Okay, it's a business. That means you're selling a product. And if people have been opting out, or people feel like, man, I need to get my voice, the product's not working. So we're trying to come up with a better product. Maybe to even work and extend that olive branch to the other product. Maybe sometimes, things happen. And we don't understand why they're happening that way. But we definitely need to get that transparency going.
So
Elliot.
pretty much, when Matt says I, to reiterate, he does speak for the EPBA, and it's not him personally. But to retract back to the exclusion question, to dumb it down, first and foremost, there was no exclusion. It was just happenstance that a group of guys that worked the same job felt the same way and were willing to invest their time, energy, and money to see maybe if something like the labor organization can happen. And it did. And now that it's formed, it's like, hey, we need the rest of the members to make this work, so let's bring it to them. Let's let them vote themselves into whatever position they need to be in, and let's progress forward and have a voice for each other.
Go ahead, Zach.
So I have a few questions.
Go for it.
Few kind of clarification
Go
kind
for
of
it.
questions as well. The first one is, after the board is set up, where do the EDAC members stand in the PBA?
Nowhere.
I wanted to add to that. We don't exist. We
wouldn't
have no
exist
power.
Unless you want to nominate if you felt that an EDAC needed to be nominated.
Okay.
Think of us as like parents that abandoned their children. The EPBA is our child. We're just gonna leave it on the doorstep and run away.
Once the
So
board
you're
has been
essentially
elected,
letting us
where do the
let
EDAC
it
stand?
letting it fly,
The answer
letting
is
it go.
Yes, there you go.
If
We have no power whatsoever.
you want to nominate that EDAC, or you want to nominate yourselves, you want to nominate whoever to be on the board, you can. There's no hard feelings here.
My next question.
But there is a corporator still in that
My next question. How many members would we need to begin the elections for the board?
How many members? How many members? Well, good question. If I said to you, I have 31 right now, and it's January 31st, 31. And I say to everyone, listen, it's slowing down. But we need to step it up a little bit. At this point, the corporator could actually change the bylaws if he or she wanted to, and step it up, and I could make it into a 30 quorum thing. I could do it that way. But right now, I'm really trying to see if we can get at least 105 people. 30, 60, 105. That's my goal. Or everybody. Because guess what? You could belong to the other association. No one says you can't. You can still belong to it. But you need to sign up. If I see that it's stalling, the momentum is not working, then the question will be then, do you want to do a committee? And then you can still start the committees. At least you can do that. If people aren't comfortable. If the 30 go, no, you know what? I want to wait for everybody else. I want to wait for at least 60 or 100 or wherever you want to join. Cool. We'll put it to a vote. I think that's fair. We'll put it to a vote, but there's no board. But you can still do a vote. And you still can put people through a committee. Because you still have a EDAC, chairperson.
Another question.
Everyone needs to get on board, whether they want to or not, whether we're friendly with one another. This is something that we need to be a part of and become organized and brotherhood and sisterhood. Forget any nonsense that's happened in the past, and we need to move forward and become stronger as one unit. Because that's the only way that anyone in here is going to make it to the next future career that they're going to have here. And as Matt has said before, we need to do our research. Matt's telling us all this information. He's going to provide us with the information. It's not just to sit in your email box and go, okay, cool, he sent me something. Read through it. Understand what we are becoming a part of and understand how much work it actually took to create and what we're supposed to be receiving and how much this is actually going to empower our voices here to be heard. Sorry to chime in.
It's okay. It's all good. I'm expecting about a year. I'm expecting people to be that, not stubborn, spectacle, cautious. You know, I'm expecting it. It's okay. I'm fine with it. But it's not going to stop me. It's not going to stop the people that are trying to do this. It's not. It's going to continue. You already got about 31. So it's going to keep going. And then once it gets to the point where it has to be, we're going to have committees. Zach's got one more question. Go ahead. Or many.
I might have a few more. I don't know.
All right, outstanding. Let's go.
So, my next question. In regards to the executive special meetings, are the things that are talked about and decided on at said meetings going to be brought to the rest of the
Membership.
at the next meeting to be voted on?
I don't see why not. That's up to the board.
But just my question with that was, the way it was stated, I could see it being misconstrued to those are like secret meetings that no one can know about except those people. So I just wanted to get clarification on that.
So the secret meeting might be like, hey, I don't know, we're planning a birthday. I don't know. It could be anything at that point. Again, it's for the board. It's for the board to decide. It's not for me to decide. It's for the board. If you guys want to change that, you can. If it didn't sound right to you, you can. But that's something designed for a reason. There's a purpose for that. There is a purpose for that. There is.
Next.
Next, I'll ask one.
I can elaborate on that purpose if you want. Would you like me to elaborate? That purpose? Okay. So right now you have an 81. That's draft one. There's no delegates. It's not really set up to be its own union right now. It's set up just to get yourself organized, get yourself ready, get your committees going, get your board going. When the time comes, and the time will come, And people are like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. I heard some stuff. This might be happening. Plan B, Plan A, whatever you want to call it. If that happens, you have a Plan B now. You have an option. You have a Plan B. If it doesn't happen, you still need a Plan B. You still need to have the voice. You still need to move forward. So that means you can have draft 2 of the bylaws created. That means you can now start to become a labor organization, because that's what you are right now, technically. But we're going to treat it right now as a PBA. But the PBA is a C5. It's incorporated as a labor organization. Everyone says a PBA can't be a union, union can't be a PBA. It's wrong. It's wrong. You are. It is. Until you tell me or tell someone else to put it in the bylaws. Which bylaw committee? Okay? There's no tricks. There's nothing up my sleeve on that one. You want that transparency? You guys want to know? That's the truth. The truth is, right now, it's just a fraternity right now, if you guys want to call it that way. But eventually, I wanted to go further, because I know we can do this ourselves. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to say that. If you guys don't agree with it, we can have a discussion over it. And I can show you why. I can guide you there. I have been giving certain people that I went to before we started this, that were delegates, people that have tried to do ballot committees, and then a president, and explain to this person, explain to these people what we're trying to do. I got told we need to do it right. Okay, we're going to do it right. I even told this person, hey man, arbitration impasse might get ruined. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. The bridge inspectors, the Department of Transportation, they're going to put a petition to certification. And they did. And I got told, it's okay. And that's not, I was like, oh, well, all right. I mean, I guess they're just a separate bargaining unit. And I never understood it. And it's fine. I mean, I do, but I never understood it. But I do. And I let it go, because I was trying to establish a rapport with that person. I'm still trying to establish a rapport with anybody, at any time, to do it right. Because that's what I was told, to do it right. So I'm doing it right. Out of the fairness of everyone else saying, hey, we need to do it right, I'm doing it right. What's that?
You think there'll be some type of retaliation?
I've been asked if there's going to be some type of retaliation. And I said earlier, if that comes, that's an LOP. And the PROC officer is ready. OCB. Okay. And something that I need to do to protect myself. Right? Okay. If not, we're all playing nice on that little battlefield of cold transparency, and we're all trying to get our voice, and I don't want to see anyone get a letter of cease and desist because they're trying to get a ballot, bless you, they're trying to get a ballot started. It's not going to be sent to them, because if it is, again, that's a ULP. It's sent to me. It goes to the Secretary of the State, affidavit of service, and it comes to me and the other two. And the other two right now are Bruce Mateer and Thomas Terminelli. And let me explain this further. And I understand everyone goes, well, I don't like those names. I don't like to hear those names. I got you. Copy. They were the ones that came to me, and they needed the help. And if they went off the beaten path, you needed someone to help them as well. They have been checked as well. And they know it, and they don't like it. Just like the other guy may not like it. It's too bad. You all have to compromise. You have to get your voice. You have to get a ballot committee. You have to vote. Period. It's got to happen. People on the phone, you guys have any questions?
Yeah, Officer Spaulding over AC.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
How you doing? Good thing, touching on the voting portion of it. I wasn't on the whole call this time, so I'm sorry if I bring something back up. But, with the, voting, I understand that we're gonna have to have enough members to place a vote report to begin with. For that voting procedure, is that gonna be a more popular vote, which I'm assuming it is from what you said, but also with that, is there a gap that has to be reached in order for one position to be elected? Or is it a one vote gap enough and that person's elected to the board?
So you're saying, in theory, trying to track this now, a gap. No, it's as easy. A separation by number of votes. No, if you nominate you, and you is going for Director EPO 2, and they nominated you, that's the position. To elaborate a little, yeah. So if you have it,
For the election process, it's only going to be a top vote, right? There's not like an electoral college type system?
no, there's no electoral college type system. It's just a vote. But you can, once you have a ballot committee, we actually have a ID number that will go to you once you're a member. And that ID number, you can actually vote from the comfort of your own home. Or you'll have a ballot committee on site here in Kingston, looking through who's voting for an ID number. So you're not like just getting it emailed to you.
The reason I just brought that up was with the committees, those committees that we're establishing for separate issues once the board is made and we progress with this whole TDA, are those committees given the final word for whatever they are basically designated to make a decision on, or does that decision that the committee is placed on give information back to the union and we vote on that as a popular vote again?
Yes. The answer is yes. The committee, who's ever in charge of the first and second chair, comes up with whatever they need to do. They establish it to the board, it gets added to the new business, and then the members get to vote on that for that part of the committee. Yes.
Okay, so for every, got it, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. No more questions on the phone? Any more questions here? Okay, all right. Guys on the phone, awesome, thank you for calling in. If you have any questions, please contact me on the contact sheet. I really appreciate you guys calling in, I really appreciate the questions. I really need a lot more help with all this. And I really look forward to helping you guys go on, all right? Talk to you guys soon, be safe. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Matt. No, I was going to say thank you for taking the time. So.
Sir, yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have a good night, okay? Be safe.
Thanks for you too.
Bye. Bye, guys. Good night.
Just hit it. Just hit the button. Hit it. Hit it.
Just break it, throw it.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Oh.
I
Okay.
appreciate everyone coming tonight.
That
The
stands
EDAX, the
a little
EPA
awkward.
is all happy. Everyone's happy. Thank you for coming, guys. Be
There you go.
safe.